Okay, so this is Fiasco.
Okay, I don't know.
Hey, Fiasco.
A game of powerful ambition and poor impulse control.
Sounds like my life.
Yeah. So it's a game, if you've ever seen the Coen Brothers movies, or like the Fargo or Barata, or like
House of Cards.
maybe House of Cards. Games that, movies that involve like usually petty criminals or people with grand plans that go horribly, horribly awry by the end of the movie.
So, kind of like Boondock Saints.
Yeah. Or like those British crime movies like Snatch and things like that.
Snatch.
Right, this is a Snatch simulator.
Lock, stock, and two smoking
Yes,
barrels.
that's what this game
Alright.
is making.
I know what I'm doing now!
Once you get your head in like the genre, then it makes
Or
sense.
Revolver.
If people who are like sort of comedy criminals.
It can be, not necessarily.
Criminals who are so inept that it is comedy.
You're usually
The Apple Dumpling Gang. I don't know those movies.
Someone made a Muppets version of this.
Have
Yeah.
you ever seen that?
Yeah. But so there's lots of different settings. So this one is set in film noir. So you can do film noir setting. There's tons of different settings that you can do. But it's just a film noir one because it sounded fun.
Before we move forward, there are two things you need to do.
We need to go more, please.
The first thing is that along the side of your guns, it says replica. And the second thing is that alongside my gun, it says Desert Eagle.
What's that from?
That's from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking
It's been a
Barrels.
while.
It's a terrible.
Okay. Let's see. Here's the intro. Here's the intro to this setting. Los Angeles, 1936. That takes place. I needed a drink. I needed a lot of life insurance. I needed a vacation. I needed a home in the country. What I had was a coat, a hat, and a gun. That's a quote from Raymond Chandler. All right, in Raymond Chandler's Los Angeles, 1936, the sun-blinded streets would just as soon put a knife in your back. And all the diamond-edged glamour of a Hollywood starlet can't save you from a fall off a 30-story building. Enter the black and white world of smoky nightclubs and faded apartment hallways where every crime is shot on location. There are many grand dreams waiting to be unraveled. Are you ready to enter the labyrinth? So, it recommends movies to watch before playing the game, but you've probably seen a lot of them anyway.
Including.
So the big city, the Maltese Falcon,
I've seen the
Chinatown,
Maltese Falcon.
those
I
sorts
just
of
like the
movies,
ones
Double
that,
Indemnity.
Captain Picard likes when he plays detective.
Casablanca's not
Yes,
on here?
exactly, yeah.
Casablanca's not on.
That's not as
Of all
much
the
film
gin
noir.
joints.
Okay,
Mine is Max Payne.
Max
I
Payne.
haven't played that.
Oh yeah,
Game?
that's
Not the movie.
that's film noir.
The game.
Yeah.
Mine is Harry Dresden. Alright.
That's
I'm
film
just gonna
noir.
stick with
Did you
it.
ever
That
listen to Guy Noir?
Yeah.
My mom loves the
I love
Dresden
that.
Files.
Oh, they're so good.
All
The
right.
next one's coming
So
out in...
everyone gets 3 note cards. One note card goes right in front of you. You'll use that later, and then everyone puts 2 note cards in between them and the player next to them. So like 2 note cards go here in between us. You get 1. 2 note cards in between you and the next player, etc. All right.
No, I got hers.
So each person gets 2, and there's 2 in
Well,
between.
everyone gets 1 note card in front of them,
One.
and then they put 2 note cards in
So this is
between them
between-
and the player next to them.
No one's sitting here.
No one's sitting there.
No, it's in.
Oh, right.
So these 2 are between us.
It's
Two.
between there.
Extra.
Me and I.
There you go.
Yeah.
Extra.
And Miss Petra, you want to play?
Okay.
Get other stuff.
So we start with the setup. So during the setup, we create the specific situation which takes place, and we sort of figure out who our characters are. So how we do that? Let's get rid of this. A second. We have these tables that we use to generate who we are and the sort of things that we want. Let's see if we can spread these out on the table. Actually, shake all these up and just roll them into the middle of the table to make a big pile in the middle. There we go. Oh, that's good enough. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around on the table, and we're going to build the relationships that we all have to each other. You're going to have 1 relationship on one of these cards between each person. So you and I are going to have a relationship. Me and Andrew are going to have a relationship, etc.
Okay.
So you have 2 relationships, one to the person on either side of you.
So,
That's what
you're
this top card is
unrelated.
gonna
I'm
be.
unrelated to you two.
Well, you'll know them later in the game. You'll have specific relationships.
You know them
You'll
through.
Yeah, you'll know them like it's like one
I
person.
know a
per
guy.
So this top card is going to be a relationship. Everyone is going to have a relationship. The bottom card is going to be a detail. That's going to be an object, a need, or a location that's tied to your relationship and makes it more specific.
Okay.
Okay. So I need to put out these little
We're writing these
tables
things
to
on
make
this
it easier.
guy.
Yes, you will write the information on them.
And we come up with this information out of our heads, or is it in there?
It's from these tables.
Okay.
So, let's just make a pile of it and we can pass it around as we go. So
Okay.
what happens is, when it's your turn, we'll just go around. You'll pick a die off the table, any die you want. So, if you chose 5, for example, there's 2 levels. First, you would choose, let's just do locate. Let's do relationships first. That'll make it simpler. Okay. So we have our relationship sheets. We'll go around the table, and you'll pick a die. Say I pick 5. That means that they go here, 5, crime relationship. So like right here, on anyone's relationship actually, not even mine. I could write like the relationship here. I could write relationship crime. That counts as the 5. Then I'll just put the die there. Alright? Then I'd be done.
But you do that for you.
I can do it for myself or for other people. You can determine the relationships that other people have as well. Then the next person would go. They would choose another one. So this has been determined as relationship crime. If someone else picked up a 2, they could either, like for example, if they had a 3, if this was a 3 and they picked it up, they could make that more specific and make it a hustler and his mark. All right, so that makes it more specific. Now the relationship is a crime relationship of a hustler and his mark.
Wait, who's the hustler and who's the mark?
They can decide between them.
Okay.
So you just sort of figure out who you would like to be. Either that, or instead of making this one more specific, I could just say 3 is ships in the night relationship. And you can make someone else have a ships in the night relationship. That could be defined more clearly later.
Okay.
So let's just go around and do the relationships first. That'll make it easier.
Why wouldn't we roll instead of? It's a similar thing, but
Why do we roll them all at once?
It creates a semi-random pool, so that you'll becomes a little bit strategic later on, because you'll see that only certain numbers are left, and you'll have to. It forces you not to be too freeform. It forces you to skip some choices, but not an infinite amount of choices.
so we got a few of each.
So, for example, Julie goes first.
Why?
But
Because
it makes no difference.
Yeah.
So
6, I drew.
relationships, community.
Okay, so
You can give anyone any relationship between 2 people, make that a community relationship.
I'm going to give that to you.
Right. So you have 2 relationships. So either a relationship between you and Burke, or a
Oh.
relationship
Elected
between you
officials.
and you.
You need to be an elected official.
Oh, okay, I guess I'll put it there.
Okay, so you put the 6 here, and then we would write down
Elected officials.
relation.
It just
Go
has to be
on.
community so far, right?
Community. Yeah, we haven't made it more specific yet. Someone else can do that later.
Alright. So then we just keep this?
Just leave that there. Leave that as a 6 right on there. Alright, so now Burke can go.
Alright. Do I close my eyes or just
No,
pick
just
one?
pick whatever you want.
Alright.
I mean, you can look at what's available here if you want to make something.
Alright.
Like, if you really want to define this community relationship something specific, you can pick one now.
Okay.
Or you can give one to someone else.
Okay.
I wait for you the next
Ships
sheet.
in the
Careful. I bet you did.
Nice. Put this here. So, ships in the night.
Alright, so now I can go.
Ah, oh, my
Uh,
relationships.
I make this a crime relationship.
Oh, between us?
Yeah. Some sort of crime relationship.
Avoid number
We don't
2.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about that earlier today, actually.
What? We were in
Totally
being
a totally
partners in
unrelated
crime.
situation.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's make. We're gonna have Julia and Rachel be estranged husband and wife.
Well, we're.
You have to pick a
One
general
of us
category
has to be-
first.
Oh, whoops.
We have to be a family.
Then it'll be romance.
Is that a category?
4, yeah. So, relationship, romance of some sort.
Let's push the boundaries.
Oh my
you
God.
don't have to play your own gender.
I guess that's true.
There. Your turn.
Rachel.
Thank you for making this happen.
So you pick one of these and either enhance, so you might want to change
You can
your
clarify
romance.
them, or like this. There's no relationship there yet. So you can
Define
pick a
our
category for their relationship, or you could define one of these ones that are already here.
Well, since I don't have one, then I can put them in the family.
Okay. related somehow. Just right.
Cousin Minnie. Cousin Minnie.
Relationship, family.
Alright. Relationship.
Okay. So now we're
Yes,
defining.
yes.
So now we can so now we all chose categories first. That's fine. Now we can go around defining them more specifically.
Maybe a frozen marriage. Incestuous family members, former spouses.
This is really tough. I'm having a hard time with this.
Well, see, if you
One
get
time
a
playing.
pick, do you?
We were one time playing.
I
know. It was a crazy thing.
That can be
Yeah,
part of the
that was-
relationship.
How did that happen? It can happen in one-time flings.
Have a baby.
Between women?
Well, you can be a man.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna lie.
That's
I'm
true.
just
One of
gonna
us
do
is
this.
a man.
Okay,
All right. So
randomly.
crime. You chose pimp and prostitute.
Hey!
You can
I'll be the pimp.
Hey, Daddy.
I'm gonna make myself a police officer.
All right. So
Before somebody
Wait,
else.
so you chose what?
Police.
Fine. So that means that our relationship. So we're both police. Then.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. Community. So we're both
Rachel
police. I'm
and
sorry.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Sure.
This is gonna be
It's
tough.
really challenges. I'm a prostitute. Be a gigolo.
Why did we
So-
start out with like level 1 relationship?
So far we're both we're both police essentially. We're like maybe like a police team or something. So if you're the prostitute, then somehow we need to have a shift in the night relationship.
Everything's
It could be anything, you know.
Veterans of the Great War.
So your
Prostitute comes back.
Yeah.
I guess so. So I can define any of these. If you, we don't really know too much about you yet.
I'm a police officer.
You're a police officer, but we don't know anything about.
I have a family.
Are you sure? Are you
Also,
sure?
we're
yes,
family.
You don't want to
Yes.
switch that.
And
Are you sure
you're
you're
that part of the family, all right? You're that part of the family. The one we just try not to talk about it. You know, it's a little awkward at family reunions, but hey, we get around it.
I don't get invited to the family reunion.
Oh, you do. We're a good Catholic family. We
Siblings.
Oh gosh.
better than that.
Are you older or younger?
Alright, so,
So just write down siblings.
the romance or the ships in the night. Some of these wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, you try and finagle them so it makes sense, based on what we know so far.
Well, we can't be veterans. We don't do any more of those. Not office work.
We have 5. You have veterans.
We do?
Yeah.
Alright. We're veterans of the old war.
Okay.
My goodness,
Which
your
one?
best
Which
you're
one are you
falling
playing? The
apart.
pimp or the prostitute? And it's really
Veterans not taken care of.
You could be a nurse from the Great War, and now fall on all hard times, and now he's a prostitute.
No, that doesn't make good sense. That means she's like old.
Well, the
guess.
Great
The
War.
Great War was
The Great
15
War-
years ago.
And the Great War could have happened.
This is the 1930s.
Oh, that's true.
Alright, you're gonna pick the last one.
Did
for
they
your
let women
romance.
fight in the World War II?
Well, I mean, you can
Sorry.
interpret veterans.
What kind of romance would you like to have? It
Okay.
can be young lovers, frozen marriage, a one-time fling, incestuous family members, or
Oh
current
gosh, that would even
spouses.
make me. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Family members.
Oh no!
My English sister.
Actually, sister.
You and Julia.
Oh my god.
No. No, I'm playing.
You can
so
do
I'll
anything
be
but
the-
former
I
spouses.
can be that.
You want the one-time fling? That's the young lovers. There's plenty of options.
How bad should we make this? Really
It's
good
totally
for
up to you.
everybody?
The one-time fling.
Who's doing this? I get to decide?
Yeah, you.
Let's go with a long time. That's easiest.
The roaring 20s. Crazy time.
Okay. Now, normally we can do our relationships while we're doing the objects,
You're not
but it's easier to
totally
split it up a
defined.
bit. So,
Oh yeah, we are siblings.
the game maker recommends that we have on these secondary cards that we have 2 needs, 2 locations, and 1 object. So these are details. These can be objects, locations, or needs. So we go about it the same way. Here's a list of our possible objects.
We roll again.
No, we leave those ones there. It should work out to the right amount. Needs or locations. So ideally, 2 of us should have needs, 2 of us should have locations, 1 of us should have an object. And those things are tied to the relationship. So the location isn't your location. their location has to do with the relationship. between
Where
the
we
person.
pinpoint process.
Objects?
Right. Or objects, and somehow like that object is central to your relationship.
Alright.
That's really funny.
I know, it's getting bad.
Okay.
This is crazy.
So I
Same thing with needs or locations. Needs are things that you share that you both want.
do I say if it's an object?
Right. You can pick any one of these. So needs.
Okay,
We're
this
having
is
one
a,
object?
This is a location for you guys, and I picked that at random.
Okay. Location for Bay City. I guess that's San Francisco,
Yeah.
more or less. Yeah.
Yeah, we get a nice view.
Alright. I'm not gonna be random. I want a
Okay.
weapon. So this is object.
Objects, weapons. Okay.
So we're ending up just with 5 for the whole table. Among these. Is that what you said?
Right. There should be one detail for each relationship. Yeah.
So this
Okay.
is the way.
So let's see. I can clarify our weapon. A phosphorus grenade.
Let's go with the 38.
A German broom-handled Mauser pistol.
That might be fun.
Now, is this shared between you as well?
Right.
Is this
Well,
like
it's
an
somehow
individual?
the object is central to our relationship. It revolves
Oh.
around it somehow. You can sort of come up with
Does
it.
that have to be for everybody?
Yes. So like this location is somehow central to your relationship.
Oh,
You can
it's
interpret- you can-
relationship related.
Yeah, it's always
It's not
relationship
always
related.
objects, though.
No, yeah, there's only one object. There'll be 2 needs and 2 locations. Okay. I'll go with
What are the needs?
a vial of hydrochloric acid.
Whoa. Okay.
Share that together.
I wanted the revolver.
Well, you're a police officer. You already have one.
That's true.
Alright. So we're done with objects.
Sure.
We can only have one.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay,
go with
2
one.
needs.
Oh, for everyone.
What,
Right.
what are the
That's
needs
for you,
options?
but nobody
Right.
else gets it.
But in the game, we should only have one object, 2 needs, and 2 locations.
Okay.
You can be
Yeah,
flexible with that, but he
town.
recommends that that's a good
I'm
way to set it
out
up.
of
So let's
town.
go with that.
You pick someone else, give them location.
Or clarify where in Bay City.
Need a need. I got needs.
I got skills. And I'm multiplying.
Waka waka.
I'm gonna give you guys.
Okay, be careful here, hon. You already made it pretty bad.
I'm avoiding the to get laid part. You are in this relationship.
Can you please not make that up?
Central, basic.
You are in this
Oh, you guys?
relationship in order to get respect.
Need to get respect.
I'm in this
You
relationship
two
with
did.
her.
We had a one-time thing to get respect.
No,
That's kind of counter
your relationship
need.
Oh,
somehow
Which revolves around having a one-time thing or something.
that's how you know each other.
Okay.
But that somehow like the way you know each other, it revolves around both of your needs to get respect.
Gotcha.
You
I
both
don't
need to get
understand.
respect somehow.
Okay.
All right. You're sort of in that together.
Okay.
Just write that down. Like need to get respect.
This is real hard to figure out. So we need to get respect
Yeah,
from other people.
Yeah.
Maybe your
and-
friends wouldn't respect
we
you.
were,
if
like,
you've never had a
drawn
one-time
together
fling
or
before.
I give you the die.
Yeah. So
Well, it doesn't have to be specific.
We'll figure it out.
It's your
yeah,
turn.
it'll get clarified. There's a more specific version of that,
We're
right?
picking
Someone
Rachel.
will clarify later.
Okay, I'm picking one.
So we need a specific. They need a location or a need, or we need a location.
Okay.
We've got 1, 2, and 6. Are the ones left.
I feel like a downtown location would be kind of convenient for us.
Sure.
But I'm not saying it has to be that way. We could also be using an abandoned airstrip near West Joel.
It's a strange place.
Not a lot of
I'm
You
just
don't
saying.
have to go where the road goes. You can just send me out, you know?
You know. What are the? Can I glance over those? We got 1, 2, 6. 1, 2, 8.
You can clarify the need to get respect by picking more specifically what you
okay.
need to get respect from.
To get even with the family member.
We could get respect from yourself. Could be interesting.
Except you don't have fire to get respect. Yeah. That'd be fun.
There you go.
Yeah, read that.
to 6.
Oh yeah, 6. Yeah. Sure.
What does that do?
Get respect from yourself.
None of the other get respects really make that much sense.
Yeah. Well, from this town by bringing down the establishment, showing everyone who's boss.
I guess that makes sense too.
Yeah.
You liked need respect. You picked it.
I did pick it.
You're picking right now.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
So
Well, I
you
could
need
also pick a location for us.
for you,
Yeah, for our brothers.
and they need
They
something.
need a need. The need is the one that's left.
I got needs. I need.
Okay.
Well, let's just pick something.
I'm sorry. I'll just go with the downtown location for us because it's kind of easy to pick, you know.
Okay.
We need to define location.
All right. Back to Julia.
We need a need.
Yes. To get out or to get
Want to
even.
get even? We could get even with the family member.
Okay.
Like we need to get even. Oh, I
Yeah,
guess I
even.
can define.
Yeah, to get even. Yeah, you can define it if you want.
What else do we have? It
The
would be
lousy
the
cop who burned you.
lousy cop who burned you.
Yeah.
Or our family member.
Ooh, there, it's already built in.
Oh, no.
What's the matter?
She's like, I don't like it when you say ooh.
That's
Wait,
my
wait.
word.
Oh.
What's that?
You can get even with a family member or the lousy cop who burned you.
He's been.
Who burned me with hydrochloric acid?
Literally.
Remember, that's a need that both of you share. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
You
do
had a
family
cop who
member. I
burned
guess
you?
Apparently.
because that yeah.
Burned us.
So
World.
that was Burke.
1, 2. We're missing a die. It looks like.
Is there one under there? There should be exactly 20 dice. Or else the game won't work.
2, 4.
There's 20.
What are we missing? Did we skip someone? That's really strange.
4, 4,
Where's the
3,
location?
4. Oh, you have 4. Maybe one of these was.
Wait, no, 4, and then one
Yeah,
goes there.
You should,
Oh,
only,
yeah,
you should
yeah.
only have 3 there.
You
Yeah,
should
you should only have 3. There we go. Alright, so I'll go with. Specify the location.
I'd like to specify our location downtown as the one, if you wouldn't mind.
What's
Okay.
the one?
Oh, by the way, the final die is wild. So the one die left, you can use it for any number you want.
I'd like our
That was
prostitute
destructive.
relationship to happen right outside the police station. If unless Ben sees something.
And the cops
better.
are in on it or something.
That'll get me to work.
San Fran.
Yeah, he's maybe a corrupt cop.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm a clean cop.
No,
He's the cop who burned me.
no.
Well, he burned you because you were dirty, and he turned you in.
Yeah.
Hey.
I don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Right? I don't know what you're talking about. Forget about
She's
it.
got rhythm.
Trust me.
Yeah.
And the options for this are the Red Griffin
She's
Room
gonna
in the
be a
Georgia
musician.
Hotel, the gambling ship, the SS Rex, 3 miles out in Santa Monica Bay, or the City Hall.
Santa Monica's really pretty.
Where do we ships of the night, veterans of the
I've
old
got your
war?
nose.
What?
Where do we know each other?
You events.
We meet in San Francisco.
Oh, right,
or-
yeah. Say the gambling ship. Maybe I have a gambling problem.
And we're having our party at the 77th precinct.
That's funny.
So now you get to pick whatever you want to define your relationship further.
Need to get respect.
Any of
You can
those.
pick any of those if they want.
I think you wanted from yourself, right? For yourself.
I guess that one would make the most sense.
Showing everybody who's boss. I don't know. I think any of those could work out.
You roll then. Any of them work.
I don't know. Let's go for.
But you can be a man too.
I know. I'm gonna be a man.
Do you have any opinions about it, Julia?
Yeah.
You
which
should-
one
you
do
share
feel
the
like
needs.
is
Yeah.
strong?
Okay.
Which would make good sense for your character that's coming to development.
That calendar should have a black box on the 17th.
Porque.
Really?
It should.
Oh, the
doesn't.
school one?
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
The school
Oh,
one?
so we
Yeah.
just have a day off.
Yeah.
Let's do.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow, no day off.
don't know why that is.
We Let's don't do care number about the 6.
Okay,
I don't know.
sounds
Think
good.
the one that makes the most sense.
Especially the
Sure.
like,
Let's
not
give it a
Washington
go.
and Lincoln, right?
It's Lincoln's birthday,
No.
but they're not classical.
We don't have a day off.
So the last thing is we have to kind of hash out what these things mean and like kind of interpret them into an actual web of relationships, and finally write our name on here, hold it into a little tent and put it up in front of us so people can read it.
Cool. So we go around and
Well, this is going to be
Just
just a free
open
forum.
forum.
We can just sort of figure out what all these relationships mean, how we know each other. So if we're in the police, and
how'd
you
you
guys
two
are
work
family
out
members,
your situation?
Once
has to make
upon
sense
a
as both
time in a
relationships.
far flung and another lifetime. Before the
Maybe-
depression hit. What?
Catholics, Irish
Okay.
Catholics.
Okay.
Alright.
And
McCall, or you can pick it up by a better name. McCall's kind of a more of a Scottish name.
So were you a prostitute at one time?
no.
No, wait,
No,
was
I
a
was
prostitute
in
relationship?
Irish immigrants.
a deep rebellion against my strict family, and was looking
Shame.
for a wild
Keep
time
on
one night.
shame upon us all.
And this was before I was a pimp or during the demo?
Shame on us all.
I don't know. I guess you can decide.
you can do it in the past.
Shame on us all.
Oh yeah, I don't.
This could
At
be-
one point.
I don't know. I guess this could be during the time.
Okay. I thought it would be exciting.
And you need to get even with the cop that burned us. So that's me, I assume.
I guess.
What
So,
did he do?
In what way did I literally burn you with my vial of hydrochloric acid?
Is this a girl's name?
I don't know.
I want a name.
Sorry, I'm distracted by what's going on over here.
You silly. Give me a name.
Oh, so if you're a prostitute, you're working the gambling ship.
I'm working everything.
But that's what we
Yeah,
need from the
you
gambling
are.
ship. Because I'm a cop, so you can either be. I mean, like you guys could be. You could be a crooked cop, or I could be. I mean, I met her on the gambling ship. I met her on the gambling ship. So I could
Who's
be
that, honey?
just hanging out
Clean
with
this
the
one
bay,
trap.
I have no idea.
losing money
Sit
quickly.
picking
Maybe. That isn't. Okay.
Okay.
So we met on. How were we? I was dancing in the old war. Maybe.
Sure, for like, you're like entertaining the troops or something
Right.
like that.
Okay,
PTO
makes
show.
sense, I guess.
And I come back from the war, but I don't get any of the compensation I was hoping for. I want to turn my life around. Maybe this opportunity would make me become a dancer. I come to LA to be world famous, but of course it fails, and I end up having to serve on the gambling ship as
So
a
is our whole
waitress.
story in San Francisco?
Yes, it's San Francisco, and a little bit in.
I made my last name O'Reilly.
Well, it's in Los Angeles for the most part, but Los Angeles and the surrounding areas.
Gotcha.
I get into gambling debt of my own,
And
trying to make my way out of there, and so in order to pay it off, I turn to you. We operate a very clean operation outside the precinct house, with the help of the police officers, servicing them and making sure that they all.
So they
Get
know
the
about
best.
this deal?
Well, at least he knows about it.
Yeah.
I know,
like
I know
cards.
about it. I'm covering it up because I don't want you to get arrested, but I'm trying to get you out of this seedy life.
Wait, so who's the corrupted one?
It depends on how you look at it, right? I mean,
Maybe I can be like.
I'm partially corrupt, but
Not
I also have a
corrupt,
soft
but I can
spot.
be like, what's his name? Like, Javert. Like, I'm just kind of
You
like
know,
brutal.
I'm
No,
just wondering
no
if it has
mercy
any kind
on
of
criminals.
other kinds of
Little,
suggestive
look,
meanings
at
that
the
I'm
same
not
time,
aware
my sister
of.
over
It's a good
here
name.
Penis is usually
Sleeping around.
Sleeping
like
around.
a bluesy.
with
He-
pimps.
So why do you want to
passed
get to
you
it?
over for a big
Is that not a
promotion.
good pimp name?
You felt like you really
That's okay,
deserved
okay.
this going on. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, or
Sure,
maybe
that'll
like
Give me a good pimp name.
Sure.
It would have
I
brought
was
in a lot of
closing in on
I
that.
can
Maybe
give you
you
a
managed to like. I don't know. No, maybe yeah. I could do the promotion thing. I'm trying to work this acid into it.
Oh yeah.
And
Maybe you burned my face with hydrochloric acid. So I'm like hideous now.
hideously scarred.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
pretty
have
good.
to
But why
still
would I
work
do
with
that?
him?
Maybe it was some sort of accident. Like it was on like a bust gone wrong, and you got horribly burned with hydrochloric acid.
But why would you hate
blame
him
me
if it was
for
an
it?
accident?
Yeah, but he blames me for it. Like I was reckless or something like that.
Or
And now I suspect that you're covering up.
A
Miscreants.
prostitution ring outside
Yeah.
of City Hall, which I am.
Wait. Why does she not like you then?
Well,
Bust
if you
going on.
don't
Maybe
like
some
someone
totally
in the
other
family, you
reason.
don't,
Alright.
make war on one member of the family. Make war
Or
on-
maybe, you wanted him to go to prison so that you could be with your one-time fling lady.
Well, but no, she's a
But
man.
he's
You
distracting
actually
him.
were in love with him, but he dumped you, which made you hate yourself so much that you started dating
Hey,
me.
I like that. I like that.
Okay, I'm trying to figure this out in my head. So, I need a good name for myself. Sergeant.
It should be me.
Gums.
Gums, jelly legs, fish trap.
I'm not getting that very much either.
You get called jelly legs. That's your nickname.
Is
It's
that
really
is
not
it?
fancy.
Oh.
She's a man.
Mhm.
She dances?
Is that okay?
It'd be jelly legs because I don't know. I picked an absurd nickname because people always had
Is
crazy.
it
Wait,
because
do I
I'm
need
a
a
coward?
nickname?
That sounds like a coward
Do
name.
we all need a nickname?
You can. It's up to you.
No, it's just because I'm a pimp and pimps have nicknames. It's
Uh,
my real
that's
name.
true.
She's really Cletus
If
Von
you know
Chat.
me before.
Among all the things I never thought I would hear Rachel say. It's because I'm a pimp and all
That's
pimps.
funny. It's pretty funny.
All right. So we got our names. Our relationships will a little fleshed out. We'll grow a little more.
Okay. Let's roll all these dice back into the middle. Doesn't matter what numbers they are. You can all pile in the middle. Okay, so basically how it works is we'll go around the table. When it's your turn, then your character is in the scene. You're kind of in charge of the scene. You can decide to do it two ways. You can either decide to set the scene, who's in the scene, where you're at, what the scene's about. But if you do that, everyone else at the table will decide how it ends. If it ends well for you or bad for you. Okay?
And then you play it out.
And then you play it. So if you decide, I want to set the scene, I'm in this place with this person, we're talking about this, then you just start playing it out. Everyone else at the table kind of sits back, watches the scene, and decides, is this going to end well or badly for her? Then just by like eye contact, we just kind of agree. And if we think it'll end badly for you, we just give you a black die. The numbers don't matter. If we think it'll end well for you, we give you a white die. Once you have received that die, you know how it'll end, and you have to kind of play out the scene so that it ends well or badly for you.
Okay.
The other option is that you can have everyone set the scene for you, the whole situation, and then you get to decide how it ends.
Okay.
So you just can do it either way.
Interesting.
And
Can
then
you always let them set the scene, and no matter how bad they do, it's just like, oh, but it ends well.
but they'll put you into more and more horrible situations. So they can manipulate it.
So
to a
that
certain
ending
extent.
well is relative.
To a certain extent, yeah. And so that goes on, and so we'll go around twice. So by the end of it, you'll have done 2 scenes. Once everyone's done 2 scenes, half of the dice will be gone, and that'll be the end of Act 1. Then we'll go through and then once Act 2 starts, we do something called the tilt, where we do a little thing where we roll some dice. We pick some new things that enter the story, some things that set everything off kilter, and then we play out Act 2, and then we resolve to see what happens at the end. Generally, here's what you need to know. If during Act 1, suppose the scenes, everyone decides it'll go badly for me, so they give me a black die. During Act 1, if I receive a black die, once my scene is over, I give this away to someone else. All right? In Act 2, you keep all the dice that you're given. So by the end of the game, you'll have a pile of black and white dice. In Act 1, it's because people have been giving it to you. In Act 2, it's because you kept it. At the very end, you'll roll all the dice to see if the story ends well or badly for you. If you have lots of white dice or lots of black dice, it's likely that things will end up okay for you. If you're sort of in the middle, you've had an even spread of good and bad luck, then things are likely to end horribly for you.
Why?
It's sort of the way that these kinds of movies work. In these sorts of movies, people who are really awesome usually get away with it, and people who have had horrible luck usually end up okay. It's the people in the middle who've had good and bad luck that horrible things happen to. It ends up working thematically, apparently.
We'll see.
So yeah,
Interesting.
so
Okay.
that's one thing you can look out for. But for now, you can just pick someone to do the first scene, and they can decide whether they want to set it or That's an outside thing.
You can set a scene for Ben and I. How about that?
Well, you actually pick an individual.